Then there is this notion that, we keep women back and we are oppressive that way. So let's look at female scholars in Islam. My teacher and Sheikh Dr. Akram Nadwi, Hafidahullah Ta'ala, has done a research 15 years in just the female scholars of hadith. Just the female scholars of hadith. Not in the other sciences, just one science, hadith. And he says, in my humble research, I have found 9,000 scholars who are female in the science of hadith. Not small, giant of scholars. At the same time, if you look at the rest of the world, in the dark mountains of Europe, the Catholic Church didn't used to recognize women as human. And then later on the church said, okay, they're human, but they're a subclass human. And they have a filthy soul. And if you left Europe and went there to the subcontinent, there, if a husband died, they used to burn the wife alive with him. The practice was called sati. It was there even when the British colonized India. There's footages of it. Now, traditionally in Indian society, forget about Bollywood, I'm talking about the original India, right? And you would get older guys marrying younger girls. So, by default, he was going to go first. So, the problem was that when he's dead, this young lady is left. And the rule was they used to beautify her. And then the Hindus burned their dead. So they used to make the fire. They used to sit her on top of the wood and then burn her and him together. And obviously the flames catch you and you start to scream and nature takes over and you want to run. Then they had these long sticks and they used to keep the girl down on the fire. So that was India in womankind. And that was Europe in womankind. And if you look at Arabia before Islam came, they used to bury their daughters alive. قال سبحانه بأي ذنب قتلت وإذا الموءودة سئلت بأي ذنب قتلت. When the female infant will be asked, for what sin were you killed, dear child? So this was the world before Islam, and in Islam, and when Islam came, it encouraged scholarship and contribution from all genders, so that you had people like Amrah bint Abdul Rahman. She was a giant of the scholars of hadith. And she used to give fatwa, like verdicts, not when she was alone, at the time when scholars like Urwa ibn Zubayr was still alive, in the same locality. Once, listen to this story. The local judge, and judges in Islam are learned people. You don't get any Tom, Dick and Harry, khalas, come, I want you to make judgments here. Learned people. So the judge, a case was presented to him. A Syrian Christian was caught for stealing. And he was brought to the Islamic court for justice. And the Islamic law, with regards to stealing, is the cutting of the hand. So the judge decided the law is cut off his hand. So news reached Amrah. And she sent her messenger to the judge. Tell the judge to stop. So the judge stopped. You cannot cut his hand, release him. Because I have a hadith from Aisha radiyallahu anha who said the Prophet said, if the theft is less than a quarter dinar, you do not cut the hand. And he has stolen less than a quarter, let him be. So he was released immediately on the command of a lady at a time where the rest of the world didn't consider them human. And then we are the oppressors of women. Darda was another scholar of hadith. And just so that you see contribution, she used to teach in the actual masjid, in the grand mosque of Damascus in Syria for 6 months, and then go for 6 months and teach in Al-Aqsa. And her students included the Khalifa of the time, Abdul Malik ibn Marwan. And Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, don't think he's like the current rulers, he doesn't know his right hand from his left hand. It wasn't like that. The son of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu reached an old age and he was on his deathbed. The son of Umar ibn al-Khattab. So at his deathbed, the people began to panic. And they said, O elders of the Quraysh, it looks like you're all about to perish. You're all dying one after the other. Who will we ask after you? So he said, Marwan has a son. Ask him after us. This is Abdul Malik. He was so learned, a faqih and an alim, that the son of Umar ibn al-Khattab said, ask him after us. And this Khalifa used to sit as a student at the feet of Darda to learn hadith from her. And when her dars used to finish, he used to help her to go to the female lines for the salah. And stories like this are many and numerous. You can look at the work of Dr. Akram Nadwi for further reference on that, inshallah ta'ala.
اللهم إني أسألك خيرا في كل اختيار ونورا في كل عتمة وتيسيرا لكل عسير. أسألك العوض الجميل والصبر الطويل